episode of Dr. Nick. We're going to sit down with the main characters of Ender's Games. The first character I'd like you guys to all meet is Peter Wiggins. Thank you, Peter. The second character I'd like you guys to meet is Valentine Wiggins. Thank you, Valentine.
Hello!
And the last and main character of all, Ender Wiggins. Thank you, Ender, for coming. Thank you. And we're going to sit down with these lovely Wiggins and carry on a conversation with them. Ender, do you think your parents loved you? They gave you up so easily.
I think they love me, but since I was the third child, I have been under the government's control since I was born, and I have to do whatever they tell me to do.
How did you feel when you went to go see Ender a year later, and he wanted nothing to do with you?
Well, when he left, I thought he loved me. I thought I was the perfect sister to him. And I even wrote him letters the whole time he was gone. He didn't respond to one. And when I went to go visit him, he seemed like he wanted nothing to do with me. I don't know what happened.
Ender, how did the IF make you a better soldier?
Well, when I got there, it was constant training and battles. They showed me no mercy. And I realized the longer you last, the more battles you win and the better soldier you can become.
Ender, how'd you lead an army to go undefeated even when the odds were against you?
Well, I had always listened to Colonel Graff, and he had always told me never to give up. And during my off time, I did a lot of training with many of my older friends.
Peter and Val, as Ender is up in space, trying to train for war up there, you guys are down on Earth trying to help the government prevent war. How are you guys doing it?
We knew it was right, and we had to do it, so that was our only way of really doing it.
We were writing these articles under a false name so we could get the information across to the government of how they could improve without war and just have peace. So even though it was illegal, we changed our names to write these articles, and we wanted to explain to them ways that they could improve without getting into violence.
Peter, even though you weren't with Ender in space, do you think you influenced him to defeat the buggers?
Well, I wasn't the nicest to him as a kid, and I was kind of violent, so I think that trained him to be the best soldier he possibly could, and if he would have lost to the buggers, that'd be failure, and failure is not an option.
Peter, what are your feelings towards Ender?
Again, I was kind of violent towards him when I was younger, and I think that stems down to him being a third, and knowing that the government needed him for something, and that I wasn't needed or wanted, so I just think that he could be the best soldier he possibly could, and I couldn't. Here you go.
Ender, tell me how the IF tricked you in defeating the buggers in real life.
Well, they had told me I was taking my final exam, and they also had said that it was my hardest exam, and so I was using this simulator, which I thought I was defeating virtual buggers, but it turns out that I was defeating buggers in reality, and it was just...
Peter, as Ender did his part in defeating the buggers in outer space, how did you do your part in ending war between USA and Russia?
I created the Lockheed Petition, which made me the leader of the U.S., and in that I resolved the conflict between Russia and the U.S.
So Ender, now that you found the Queen's egg, what are you going to do with the rest of the buggers?
Well, I was planning on taking it to another land far away from ours, so that the buggers could live in peace and not have to fear war.
That's all, folks.